Hey everyone, and welcome to the Eye Opener Society, or even better yet, welcome back to the Eye Opener Society. We thank you for joining us on this episode. You have me, Gary. You have my stepdaughter, Hannah.
What's up?
We are here again, hopefully to bring you some relief from your workday. Hopefully, maybe you should be listening to the show while you're working. That's my guess.
Hell yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this here episode that Hannah and I decided to do, this is kind of a continuation. If you've heard it before, or if you would like to go back and listen to it, do not let the corporations bully you. That's the name of our old episode. And it was done over the summer where Hannah and I were sitting outside and we were really aggravated at the way work was treating us. And well, nothing's really changed. However, what has changed is the way I think everybody right now in the world is feeling.
Mm-hmm.
There's been such a great big bowl of negativity, and a lot of it from the people I'm talking to, it's all because of work. So, on this episode, that's what we are going to address. Let's get a few things out of the way. First of all, if you haven't done so yet, please do so now. Go over to our YouTube channel. If you look up Eye Opener Society on YouTube, and there's links in the synopsis, we have what's known as Behind the Eyes, and it's a monthly show that Hannah and I do, and we basically do a little rundown of our past month and all the shows that we've done, and we just give you kind of a behind the scenes, and we're more Hannah and Gary, the way we are
Mm-hmm.
just normally, outside the podcast where we're more focused in on the subject. We kind of go off on tangents on there
Mm-hmm.
and we come up with a little different ideas, and we want you to tune in and check that out. And don't forget, you can find all of this, including all of our episodes and sometimes occasional little blogs I do on our webpage, which I think you should be subscribing to anyway, because it's great. Every time a episode is released, we put it up on there right away, and you got all the links to everything, including Behind the Eyes. And that could be found at eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. Again, links are all down below. And also, I got a whole list of other podcasts to listen to. They're also down the links. They're some of my favorite podcasts. I just like giving them, a little extra boost to their listenership because they're great people. This whole community has been fantastic. And I like to give them, a little bit of promotion as well. So I would like you to go down to the synopsis and check out all the links for Nonsense and Deep Thoughts, Twisted Tales, Mortal Musings, Bell Witch podcast, Matt and Monica podcast, and Ouch, Was That a Ghost? So let's roll into this episode. So Hannah, I've been talking to a lot of people and I've been hearing a lot of feedback
Mm-hmm.
lately. The workplace environment today, but it's not just so much the workplace. I think there's so much negativity going on recently, and I'm finding out a lot that something's going on either with the workplace or just human life in general coming into this new year. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. I know, like in the line of work that I do, you kind of every year during this busy season. I won't get too much into what I do. I can crack.
Yeah, it's me
We're
opening
real
up a can
here.
of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, we live on Dr. Pepper. Anyway, so I won't get into I won't say where I work, but I work with insurance. So right now is the busiest time of the year, and you kind of see at my job, currently what I'm seeing, I've been there for over 5 years, but every year during this time, I see that you kind of start to see management's true colors. And this is not a shot at my boss because she's awesome, but upper management people, you see their true colors as far as they kind of look at you as you're just a body, you're not a human. We don't care what you got going on, you got to be here. And yeah, that's how I'm kind of starting to look at. And then, outside of workforce things, I'm just noticing a lot of shady shit that corporations do, as far as price gouging and everything like that. And I'm thinking I'm not the only person in the world right now who is just tired and fed up of it all.
Yeah, it's an accumulation of a whole lot of stuff. Not to mention, without getting all political, not to mention this bullshit political office that's going on right now to
Hmm.
change the, whole damn dynamic of the world. But there is something else like going on. Like if I want to expand out and talk spiritually and all, I know we had Elaine from Arcane Oracle on our last show, and we were talking about this, about this whole new year. And it just seems, according to the tarot, this is going to continue and it's going to
Hmm.
continue on. Uh, and what's bad about that, it's like I said, we can't always just blame work. There's other factors outside that's also supporting the negativity and all. But I just seem to get this redundant thing. Oh, work is doing this, work is doing that.
Hmm.
There's an abundance of work available out there. And just recently, I was going through the work market too. And as much as you put out, as much as you see, everybody's looking to hire desperately. But when you apply, nobody even responds back.
Yeah.
So there's something really going on somewhere, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't understand if there's such a big, thriving workforce where people are needed so bad, nobody's reaching out, nobody's being hired. Maybe it's the people themselves that are applying, but even still, what is going on? What is the feeling? What is everybody experiencing? Can't really say for
So I have a
sure.
thought for that.
Yeah.
Here has what I have noticed from people. A lot of people, which is it's understandable, why they do it. So let's just like as an example, not even an example. A lot of people they're looking for work, but they're setting this high salary standard in their brain that they want to make because of the economy that we're living in right now. So they're like, oh, this person's offering me a job, but the starting pay is only $10 an hour. And they're looking for a job that they're making, like they are offering, like they want to make like $16 an hour or something like that. And the problem with that is that these people aren't taking these jobs that are being offered to them at that lower wage because of the economy right now. But the thing of the matter is that these people aren't opening up their brains and realizing that even if you're taking a job that you don't necessarily like to pay for, at least you're having income come in. I have noticed so many people just like on like scrolling through Facebook where they're like denied this job because like they're not going to pay me enough. Like I understand like they're not going to pay you enough, but at least you're getting pay coming in. So that's a like one thing that I've noticed in like the world right now.
Yeah, that's one way to see it. And the thing I'm seeing, it's once you take a job or even the job that you're in right now, and this is what we've spoken about on Don't Let the Corporations Bully You. It's you are a replaceable heartbeat. And that's
Mhm.
really all that you are in the workplace. And I think people are feeling that more now. You could throw the salaries around all you want, pay me an exorbitant salary. But if you're not making me happy, I'm not going to be happy going to
Mhm.
work. And I think this is where things are starting to become a real problem. If there are so many job openings in the world, most places now are requiring their current employees to do the work of 3 or 4 different
Mhm.
people. You're not getting the extra salary, even though they have, a
It's
budget now that's
me.
open.
Hi, that's me.
There you go. Uh, and I think this is what's really eating at people. And then with our economy the way it is, where we can't even afford to put food on the table no matter what
Mhm.
you get paid, it's just adding up more and more. So I'm taking the show to the next level because, like I said, we spoke about this. We've done this episode before, but there is something bigger that's going on, and we got to place our fingers on. Is it the workforce that's the problem, or is it just us as human beings? Again, the ones that always seem to be responsible for all this.
Mhm.
Are we the reason for this? What's the reason for the negativity? What's going on? I'm going to throw this at you real quick because for a while, coming into the new year, on a meditation level, for me, I get tinnitus. Oh, I have tinnitus, let's just say. And it has nothing to do with listening to, loud volumes of music. But whenever something's going on, in my life, something that's off, or if I'm feeling something, my tinnitus gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I notice that when I'm in a meditative state, it just gets completely weird. And when I feel that, yeah, I know something's going on. I've had that for a while coming into the new year. I'm going to mention this real quick. I'll save it for the behind the eyes episode. We had this whole thing in Miami with the aliens, right?
Oh God. Yeah.
You know, this whole thing. And I'm going to speak about that a little bit now because, like I said, I want to try and take this bigger. What's really going on? There was something that happened in my listen. Was it aliens? I really don't believe
Mm-mm.
so. I think that there's much more hardcore, concrete evidence of aliens on different levels. But here's it was definitely something to distract us
From
from
something,
something else. Okay.
which not to bring politics in this, but apparently there's some like issues going on right now about a certain presidential election ballots being removed from certain states in the United States. So I think that might be a ding ding ding, we have a winner.
That's one. And don't forget too, every time aliens appear, the whole Epstein
Mm-hmm.
Island stuff comes up.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of distraction methods. So like I said, I'm not going to focus on that. But after the whole event happened and all, and it went through the short news cycle or whatever, my tonight has gone away. So if there's something big going on, whether it be psych op, whether it be just a distraction, whatever it may have been, these are things that are going on. They're going on behind. Listen, there's something going on, and it's going on behind the scenes. We don't know.
Yeah.
Again, this is why people get labeled conspiracy theorists because, again, we're not given the answers. We're not given the truth. So we just have to assume what's going on. We're never given that solid. So we just have to make our own assumptions. We got to draw our own conclusions on it, whatever they may be. But something still is going on. And you're right. We're coming up into an election year. We have that going on. We have the whole Epstein Island thing. This is all affecting us because, again, this drives the economy. This drives the stock markets, and everything gets harder and harder for us to live.
Mm-hmm.
We work harder and harder every day to try and make more money to compensate, but we're never getting ahead. It's not happening. And spiritually, we are collapsing as human beings. And you and I, we done that episode, Positive Thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And we can go every day. We can wake up and think positive and feel positive and move forward. But that's still not changing the way we feel about our jobs. We're
Mm-hmm.
still working. We're still busting our ass.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not making money. We can change our mindset. We can. We can
Yeah.
change it. We can be positive. If you want to look for a different job, a different career, you could use that. But again, I'm a realist. I understand positive thinking does work, and it's very difficult for some people to use that positive thinking if you're going into a work environment that's just treating you
Mm-hmm.
like trash or whatever it may be, or not paying you enough or making you do 10 times the work. It's difficult to have that positive
Yeah.
mindset.
I think like one thing I appreciate about my job is that even though like I like mentioned earlier, their higher ups don't necessarily like kind of pay attention. Um, like my direct supervisor, she has always um if she notices just something's like off about me because it's just the way I excel at my job usually, she'll be like, what can I do for you so you can remain positive and excel the way that you usually do? So I appreciate that because I think a lot of corporations out there lack that. So there's that in for me. But I think another thing is that like when if we go back, we got hit with the pandemic and I feel like that changed a lot of people's mindsets. So they were all stuck, like we were all stuck in our houses and a lot of people lost their jobs because, they closed down due to COVID because they weren't, you know, what is it, essential businesses. So a lot of these people got into these mental mindsets that, they got their stimulus checks, they got government assistance, and they got this and that. And then we come out of COVID and people are just so down in the slumps still because we were all just locked away. Our immune systems were going to shit. And now they're just like lost and we come out of COVID and then we're hit with like an inflation of cost of everything, and they just don't know. People don't know how to respond. I think a lot of people just mentally are shut down, and it takes a lot of mind work to get out of that type of, mood.
Yeah, because I think we are still in that recovery process. It's hitting us, and even there were people too that during that whole pandemic thing that strived and they created their own businesses, work from home businesses, and I think I'm starting to see some of that now. It's
Yeah.
starting to go away. They're not doing as well.
Mm.
So yeah, that whole dynamic is creating such a horrible environment for everybody. And
Mhm.
when the entire economy is like that and everybody's in that situation, we tend to panic. And we tend to panic because, again, we rely so much on the give me, give me, give me.
Yes.
We don't know how to survive on our own without money. It's a difficult concept for people to understand. And because our whole system's based on that.
Yeah.
We got to work, we got to make money in order to have things. Food, shelter, and clothing. We have to pay for that. You become sick, you get hit by a car, guess what? You got to pay for that. You got to have some sort of medical insurance to cover that. If not, they're going to come after you for the money.
Don't even get me started with medical insurance.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that because that's a podcast into itself, but it's the same thing. It's like they're coming after me like I owe a very small amount on medical, and they're coming after me like they're the mafia.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's insane to think that something that happened from an accident wasn't even your fault. They come after you. It's, this is the system we live in. But spiritually, us as human beings, there is something going on now coming into this new year that's a carryover from the end of last year. And it's just continuing. And it's just, I don't really see much end in sight. And
I don't either.
Yeah.
To be honest, which is sad because I feel like we all have the strength to pull ourselves out of it. But I just, right now, at this very moment, I just don't see it happening, which is disappointing because, like, if we all just unite and we help each other out and support each other, I feel like we can get out of it. But I just don't see it right now, which is like a really negative thing for me to say. But I'm always, when I come on these podcasts, I'm always going to be real with people. I'm not going to just like sugarcoat a thought.
And I get you. And I know our audience appreciates that. This is real. It's unscripted. And we basically generally talk about everyday life. And you're right. It's, again, I'll teach you all the positive thinking in the world. I'll teach you all the meditation tricks in the world, but we still have to look outside of that spiritual, come back into the real world and try and change that. That's what really needs to changing. I could change every individual person, but we need to change this world that's going on right now and all the struggles and problems that it's creating. And no matter who's in office, really, I could say go out and vote, but the thing is, we need to change. Just putting somebody in office is one thing, but we need to change the entire system. It needs to be changed.
We need a system that's for the people.
We do. And last time I checked, this is America. It's supposed to be for the people. The people are supposed to be the government, but that's changed a long, long time ago. And again, I don't want to get into the political side of it. Most people understand, some people don't, but we lost that concept. The government's taken over everything and they want more government. And I would like to see less government. That might help. It might be a government thing. It might be a political thing. But again, it could be a spiritual thing. Like I said, whatever happened in Miami, whatever's going on, because there's more happening. That's a lot, like I said, it's a lot more real than that whole Miami incident. The Miami incident is just cool to talk about on a conspiracy level, but there's much cooler, much more realistic and truthful things that we can speak about where we are going through some sort of change, some sort of spiritual thing, something that's trying to say, listen, you're doing everything wrong. You need to start changing. And I think that's our spiritual awakening that's going on.
Yeah. I'm just going to hit it real for everyone. We need to stop being me, and we need to unite. If you find something, bringing it back to corporations, if you find something that you feel is not right, and it's something that you don't see just for you, but you see just going on as a whole, unite together and take a stand.
That sounds good. And that's what should be done. And I think too, that's what's going on. Exactly what you just said. Aside from all the negativity and all the absolute anger and disgust against each other now that I'm witnessing, one thing that I've been noticing, like now with my new job, I got to drive further, a little bit of a longer commute now, but the roads have become homicidal maniacs.
Yeah.
It's not even
The
like,
Arby's drive through.
yeah, it's not even, I don't even want to say road rage anymore. It's literal homicide. People are literally out now to just kill at any cost just to drive on the road. And that right there alone is exactly what I'm talking about. How that's the feeling right now. We got so much anger that it's branching out and we're attacking complete strangers who have nothing to do with what's going on with your life. But that's what we're seeing. And that's what's happening. And this has got to change. Are you and I going to change it? No, we can't.
But we can help change
We
it.
can help. We have ideas. We need to come together. I think a long time ago we said, listen, if just one person listens to the show and then you turn on one other person and that person turns on, and it becomes a wave. And hopefully we just start getting it into our mindsets that I'm not asking you to change completely, but I am asking you to make small changes every day. Understand that what you do has a ripple effect on the entire world, and the entire world eventually is going to feel it. It's a ripple, it's a current, and you're gonna, that small stone that falls in the water, those ripples, it goes on and on. That's the frequencies that we put out, and we need to change that, and we need to start getting better. It's hard to change the workplace. I get that. We have to work, but I have a thought on that, and I'm going to save it right for the end. But I have a little bit of a thought, and maybe weird, maybe wrong, maybe off, but it's just thought. But before we close out, do you have anything else on this?
I was just gonna say before I lose my thought, I'm kind of trying to get it back right now. I'm tired. I think what we, how do I say this? I think what a lot of, like, what I want to say is I don't want to say it is what it is, but I think we all need to stop being as dramatic as we are about events that happen. Like, you can't act like, oh, my boss said I can't do this and it's the end of the world, and you weep about it. I think we really just need to be like, okay, this happened, this is the result, this is the response. And you can, instead of countering it with like just like sobbing about it, you can counter it with like, take it as a constructive like task for you to do, and make a counter argument. Or even so, like, if it's something that's like within reason where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it was a long shot anyway, then deal with that. Just deal with the, it was a long shot in the first place. I think a lot of people just get hung up on shit that is just unrealistic at this point in time, and we just really just need to stop pulling the negative out of any type of response or event that's happening. Look at the positives of things, because in the long run, it could have not worked out for a specific reason. And now you're looking back like months later and you're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? I've been in a position where I was almost promoted, and I was not, due to a certain reason, a personal reason, not even like a work reason. And I look back at it now and I'm just like, wow, like that was like a blessing in disguise. And at first I was like so salty about it. Like, I was cold shouldering everyone. I was like lessening my work and like wasn't giving, you know, my usual, because I was salty about it. And I look back at it now and I'm just like, I was so foolish, because now in the present area that I'm in, I'm just like, wow, like I'm comfortable with this. Like, I'm doing my job. I'm logging out and I'm not thinking about work after that. So I think it's just like at a broader thing to like wrap that around. Is just like, depending on what the situation is, don't dwell. Either do the work to try to change that, or open your eyes to look at what that decision might close or open for you.
Very good. And to add on to that, move on, but
Mm-hmm.
move on happy.
Yes.
Be happy. Don't worry about all the negative consequences. I moved on. I just recently had a big change in work. Huge. A lot of things happened. I
And
moved on.
you did, and you moved on very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Very well.
And that's it. And I just look at it like this. Life is just going to keep moving forward. Is it going to be
Mm-hmm.
difficult? Are there going to be hurdles? Yes. Jump over the hurdles. Just move on.
Allow yourself time to be sad, but don't dwell. That's what I mean. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not saying like be cold.
Right.
I'm like most emotional bitch I know, but like just allow yourself time and then move on.
Exactly. Move on. Do better.
Mm-hmm.
You can always do better. And no matter,
Be positive.
be positive, and also don't worry about what anybody else thinks or
Yeah.
thinks of you or trying to do to you. You do you. You do better. You be positive, and you just keep moving forward regardless of what happens. Even a huge career change this late in life, like some people, me, it doesn't matter. You just move on
Mm-hmm.
and things get better. And that's it. You do what you got to do to make it happen. So I wish everybody the best of luck. And I hope that everybody takes this however you want and just start thinking about it and start changing the way you are. Don't let negativity from your workplace or whatever it may be spill out into the outside world. Start being happy, start being you, start having fun, and bring other people with you into that circle.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Share that smile. That's all I ask.
Yeah, let's all be the change that we wish to see for this world.
I love that. But let me throw this out real quick. Many people spoke to us for whatever reason about artificial intelligence and wanting us to talk about it or whatever. And I don't know what the fascination is with artificial intelligence. I mean, this is the year 2024. Obviously, computers are getting better. Obviously, things are going to, but I want to put this out there real quick. Artificial intelligence is taking over a lot of people's jobs. And a lot of people see that as a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you this. Imagine if artificial intelligence takes over every single job and leaves us to sit back on the beach, relax, enjoy
Right.
life while all the robots and computers do all the jobs. I don't see that as a bad thing. As long as we keep the artificial intelligence away from the government and the government don't arm the robots, I think we'll be
And
good.
give us some money.
Yeah, well,
move
we
again.
won't even need money because
Yeah.
everything's going to run by robots and
Yeah.
robots are going to do everything.
Hell yeah.
Didn't
even think that.
it's just a small thought. Obviously, there's flaws to it. I get that. Don't attack
It
me.
probably won't happen in our lifetime or the next, but
Exactly. But I would like to say artificial intelligence might be a good thing if you think positive and see it from a different perspective.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, let the computers do the job. Let them do it. I don't really mind.
Make my McChicken.
Yes, make my McChicken do my job for me, and I will sit back at the beach and I will have a much better, happier life. And that's what Hannah and I wish for everybody is you have a great, fantastic, and happy life. And don't let small things bother you.
And don't let the corporations bully you.
Yes, part 2. But we will leave you on that note. And I just want to say, yeah, definitely check out our webpage, eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. And while you're on there, I hate doing this, but everybody's going to their Patreon accounts and getting paid content and all, which is great because you know what? Be an entrepreneur, go for it. I really enjoy that. Hannah and I, we were talking about this the other day, and I just said, I can't make people pay for our show.
Yeah.
It's just one, we just don't have the time to put out that kind of crank out that kind of quality and quantity that we need. So I just don't want anybody to pay for it.
But if you want to buy us a coffee,
or better yet, buy us a pizza, because I did change it on there.
Yeah.
If you go to buy us a coffee or buymeacoffee.com, on the links on our page, and it's also down to Synopsis now. But just go on there and look us up under Eye Opener Society. And if you feel like donating, just go ahead and donate.
We love pizza and coffee here.
Yeah, we certainly do. So,
is there a buy us a Sabret hot dog on there?
I think you can change it to whatever you want.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, buy us a hot dog. Sabret hot dogs, by the way, are the best in the world. That's because I'm from New York City, and that's what is served on most New York City hot dog carts. But yeah, if you do feel a need, instead of us asking you to pay us for specialized content, just throw us a buck or two. It's cool. Only if you want. We'll never sit here and beg, but the option is there. We hope and wish everybody has a great time. Tune in for us again next week. Every Monday night, our show comes out, and Hannah and I will talk to you then.
See ya.